Chairman. Need insurance.
Good afternoon. My name is Raymond Skinner. I'm Chair of the DCHA Stabilization and Reform Board, and I call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome you to this, our regular monthly meeting of the DCHA Housing Authority, which is being held today, December 13th, 2023. This meeting is being held via WebEx video conferencing, and the board is here in person. The time is now 1:05 p.m. As we usually do, I'd like to first ask for a moment of silence to allow for some personal reflection. Thank you. Today's agenda is our regular meeting agenda. We have invited members of the public to sign up to speak via our website, or those who would just like to view the meeting can do so live via the DCHA website linked to our Facebook Live page. The Board of Commissioners welcome constituent input on matters of public concern and offers you today an opportunity to express your views. However, we require that members of the public who attend our meetings abide by certain rules of decorum to allow the board to complete its business. For this virtual meeting, DCHA asks that you remain muted until you are instructed to speak. Members of the public cannot engage in any disruptive conduct or loud, threatening, or abusive language during the meetings. This includes any loud outbursts or shouting during times when you have not been invited to speak. Anyone who violates these rules will be removed from the virtual meeting. Serious or repeated violations of the rules may result in your being barred from speaking at future meetings. We really do appreciate your interest in the matters before us today, and thank you in advance for abiding by these rules of conduct. At this time, I'll ask for a roll call to determine if we have a quorum.
Thank you, Chairman. Denise Blackson.
Present.
Rosa Burbridge.
Present.
Leroy Clay.
Present.
Jim Dickerson.
Present.
Ronnie Harris.
Present.
Katrina Jones.
Present.
Melissa Lee. Present. Chris Murphy.
Present.
Jennifer Reed. Teresa Silla.
Present.
Chairman, you have 10 present. You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next, I would like the commissioners to consider the minutes of the November 8th, 2023 board meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes stand approved as presented. Thank you. Just want to make a note on the agenda that was published. As we did at the last meeting, the resolutions that you see listed are going to be considered as part of the committee report. So each committee will get a chance to report on its business, and appropriate resolutions that go with that committee will be presented at that time. So we started this last month, and going forward, we're going to continue to do that so that the resolutions will be presented under the appropriate committee. So at this time, I'm going to ask our executive director to present his report. Director Keith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So a couple of things. First, the board book. I mentioned that I was probably make some modifications to the board book with regard to the executive summary. And this is a work in progress, but what I'd like to do is provide you guys with sort of high-level pertinent information that each committee or board member wants to see in those various departments. And they will provide some summaries, narratives, intro narratives, but then provide you with tables with information or numbers or data that you all may want to see. Now, the board will still contain all of the data in the back of the book, but in terms of the executive summary, it's like a quick snapshot for you all to see numbers regarding various departments and our activity. And what we're also going to do is we're going to have the previous month's numbers as well, starting out. Now, this doesn't have the previous numbers because the staff are just getting used to my style and what I'm looking for. But I appreciate any feedback that you guys have with regard to what you want to see out of various departments, so I can make sure they're part of the summary, so you guys can take a quick look at it. And if you want to dig deeper, you can go back to the back of the book and see all of the numbers. So that's sort of how the book is set up. And also we add photos too, because I just thought the book was a little stale with just a whole bunch of words and reading.
Tables, right?
Yeah, sometimes pictures are worth 1,000 words as well, particularly when we're doing good things. And so if you see, as you peruse through the executive summary, you see pictures of us with the residents and various events doing good things. So, and with that, I just want to talk a little bit about my first 5 weeks here. I think that's more important. Unless anyone has any questions about numbers, we can talk about those after I talk a little bit about what we've observed, what I've observed over the first 5 weeks on the job. So obviously, everyone wants to know my vision, what's the plan to get us out of this? And more importantly, Chairman Skinner's laughing saying, "What, is that done yet?" Right? But no, it's been a very informative 5 weeks here. Meeting with staff, observing operations, meeting with residents, meeting with third-party individuals, meeting with city staff folks, as well as obviously Councilmember White. He took a walk on Kenilworth. And then Nicole and I met him in his office to talk a little bit. And so just some observations. Obviously, there's several things that I did want to achieve within the first 90 days. And I'm going to touch on a couple of things now that we've already started implementing. And the first, obviously, and foremost is about reestablishing our relationship and building that trust back with the residents. I think that that's critical to anything we do going forward. And I know it's going to be a long road back. There's a lot of mistrust. I met with the residents at a meet and greet. I took them down to the African American Museum where they got a tour of the museum. And then we met for an hour and a half. And I just let them talk to me about all of the concerns, some things that we probably could do right away. But it was a good intro for all the elected officials, for all the resident councils, and they enjoyed the trip. We fed them that as well. So it was a good way to get out, but also have some candid conversation about the concerns that they have, so that I can start thinking about ways to improve the relationship, but also think about ideas and ways of programmatic activities we can do going into the new year. So that's one. And I'll continue to meet with residents. I'm a resident guy, so that's an ongoing thing, but it was a good start. Also, I've been meeting with obviously various individuals throughout the city. I had a very good meeting with the city administrator. We talked about an hour and a half. I had a very good meeting with Robert White in his office, about an hour and a half. I met with various directors of departments. I had a really good meeting with Unique Morris Hughes, DOES, to talk about programmatic activities, particularly job training and things like that for our residents. And so she's committed to partnering with us. She said she'll be back. She's on sabbatical to the beginning of the year. So I said, sabbatical means it's going a long time. She said, no, keep it just vacation. So she's committed to sitting down with us and working and sitting down and talking about all the programs they have and finding ways to enhance our residents' lives and make them more self-sufficient, whether it be through job training, what have you. So I think that was a good start. I shared with some residents that what I want to do is put together a resident group to sort of work on those ideas, so that they can be partners in this thing and stakeholders, as opposed to us always telling them what to do. I want them to be a part of building this program. That way they have buy-in. So the next thing was just basic observations of the operations over the first 5 weeks. Obviously, there's a lot broken. I don't even think the HUD report did justice to how broken it is, down to its core in terms of how we operate, how the processes that we have, the bottlenecks that we have. Now, the good thing is all this is fixable, but it's going to take time. And I need people to understand something that, this wasn't broken overnight, and you're not going to fix it overnight. So we need to manage expectations. As I tell the team, I said, listen, little by little, it's like base hits in baseball. You're not hitting any home runs here. With base hits and moving and running down the line. This is what we're going to be doing. So, and slowly but surely we'll get there. Obviously, the staff is learning my style, which is like everything's done yesterday, and also doing things correctly, because I see a lot of sloppiness, but I think it has a lot to do with they're overwhelmed to some degree. They really haven't had much direction in the past, and I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just watching how they operate. So they're sort of getting accustomed to me and how I operate and how I think and what I want and what I want to see. So, and some people are probably not going to make it to the finish line. Let's be frank about it, but others will. But also we'll be building capacity along the way as we go. Obviously, Allison's here, and we're going to be bringing on an asset manager soon. So. Things
mentioned for the benefit of the public, who is Allison?
Allison Berto, she's our new communications director here in the agency. So, also, we're going to begin the comprehensive agency assessment which I talked about in my interviews. And I've shared with various people, including the city administrator and Councilmember White. And the assessment then is going to lead to the recovery plan. We need a plan. We need a roadmap. And more so, not only for the public, but for the staff. They need that kind of guidance. And it's going to be a very detailed plan. I mean, literally from like just establishing new processes to make us more effective, how we move vouchers, right? It's those little things that aren't there. People are just doing what they're doing. And I want to make sure that the guidance is there and that it's laid out from A to Z and very detailed oriented. So we're looking to have a recovery plan presented in like the second quarter of 24, because it's going to be about 90 days for these guys to get through the assessments, right? So I got 3 companies and they're looking at the agency in 3 areas. One area is the voucher program at MTW. And so Edgemere Consulting is going to come on. We had a very good meeting with him the other day to talk about where we are utilization wise. And he's very well respected by HUD, so that's a good thing. The second piece of it is going to be the operational aspect of the house, you know, procurement, HR, that kind of thing. HCI, who did the report in 2020 and did something in 2023. Jason and this group are going to come back in starting actually tomorrow to start that piece of it. And then the third piece of it is going to be the portfolio aspect. So EJP is going to come on and do a portfolio assessment of the entire portfolio that we have. They did it in New Orleans. We were in New Orleans. They also did it in Alexandria. When I got to Alexandria, they were already there. And so they're going to give us a snapshot of everything that we have: buildings, vacant lots, what have you.
Houses.
Yes, everything, the whole enchilada. They're going to break it out for us. And then we're going to put together a plan and thoughts, and we're going to share with the board about what we're thinking about how we deal with all these assets, number one. Now, there's a second piece to the development piece of it. That's everything that's in the pipeline right now. We're reviewing all of that as we speak, because we believe that some things can be done a little better and a lot better. I had Nicole run some back of the envelope numbers, looking at 2 different properties with regard to how we're set up now with RAD versus Section 18. And those are the kind of things that we need to start looking at. All of the tools that we have to maximize, you know, the redevelopments of these properties. And I believe that there's room to get a little more creative and build better units and also generate more revenue for the agency as well. So we're looking at that piece of it. And that's going to come sooner than the overall portfolio piece, because overall portfolio piece is going to, she's got to look at all of the properties. So that's probably not going to be delivered toward the end of the year. All right. But the other pieces of it will hopefully should be delivered the second quarter of 2024. So, and then we'll roll it out. We'll share with you all, get your feedback, and then we'll roll it out for the public. It's going to be like a public scorecard. But it's going to be very reasonable and measured and well thought out. And you know, obviously I've done this before. So the reality is nothing's going to be in it that we probably can't do. And if we can't do it, it's because something else came out of left field that we didn't see. But it's going to be very reasonable and practical. So, and I think that way people can see that, you know, there is transparency here. You know, there is a plan to fix this. It's going to take about 3 years. And it's funny because I met with the city administrator. He said, so how long is it going to take, Keith? I said about 3 years. So he looks at me, he says, okay, that makes sense, right? So he agreed with it too. So it was a really good meeting with him as well. So the next thing is recruiting of key staff and just building up the capacity that we have in-house in order to be able to conduct the business that we need to conduct. Some people are in positions they shouldn't be in and that kind of thing. And that's my job to move all of that along and put people in spaces where actually they can win and perform better. So I always think of myself as a coach, right? Putting players in position and running plays that they can win by, you know. So I'm not Coach Prime yet, but I'm trying to get there.
So was Nicole, who's that, were you here for the last meeting?
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay, I'm sorry.
Nobody sees it. So let me just talk about the 3 goals of the recovery plan, just so I'll try to frame it for you guys. All right, so the first goal, and so I'm reading from my notes, but there's a lot going on. My head is running all the time. So the first goal is improve the delivery of housing and services for our residents, right? That's the ultimate goal. And the second goal is to improve housing conditions, which is obviously extremely important. And I'll talk about that in some ideas. And the third is to lay a foundation for the transformation of the agency. We have to start doing business a different way, in a much better and effective way. And so those are sort of the 3 pillars of the recovery plan and the goals of the plan itself. So just so you know, that's the—
Say that again.
Which one?
1, 2, and 3.
One is to improve the delivery of housing services for our residents. He's still writing.
Oh, go ahead. I'm just, I'm Arkansas. I'm slow.
The second one is to improve housing conditions. And the third is to lay a foundation for the transformation of the agency, because we have to start doing business a different way, in a much better way, much more effective way. So, and so talking about housing conditions. So obviously, when you hit the door, you know, I've been told, oh, we've turned 900 something units in 18 months, which comes out to about 50 units a month, right? So obviously, the next question I ask myself is, okay, how can I get more? Right. And so we've been kicking this thing around. And so finally, I think we figured out a way, because the idea that you need to bring on more vendors to turn more units is how basic, this is the basic math thing. And so we're like, okay, how can we do this without having to wait for 30, 45 days? I want to start now. So we have the JOC program. You all familiar with the JOC program? Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a way for that to allow us to bring more vendors in through the JOC program immediately. So we're gonna kick all the tires on this thing. But there's a woman who's an expert in the JOC program, and it's funny how things come full circle. Young lady's name is Jackie Zaldana, and so when I first started here in 2000, we created the Do Your Best program for summer youth interns. And Jackie was one of the first interns at DCHA in 2000. And she ended up, I forgot that when she went to school. You know what school she went to?
I don't.
But she's an engineer, a construction engineer. And so now I think she works for Georgetown now, but she knows the Gordian system well. And so I tried to hire Jackie in Alexandria to come out to be my development director, but I didn't pay her enough, right? So anyway, she's working out, but she's obviously fond of us in terms of the team and me. And so we had a conversation where she told us exactly how to pull it off. But it's just ironic that this young lady now, who's a strong professional, who I first met because we started an intern program, and here it is now, you know. So so there's a way to the path forward. So by January, we should see, we'll lay out the plan so you guys can understand it. But the goal is to turn more units by bringing on more vendors. And so I'm excited about that, because right now we're sort of spinning our wheels. We're rehabbing them, but we're just transferring. So it's like there's no gain. But if I can get more vendors on the street and doing more units, then some of those units we can start now pulling from the public housing wait list and getting things moving. So that's what's one.
So when do you think you'll be open? I know a lot of folks on the public.
Well, that I don't
Wanna
know
know that, right?
because we need to scrub it, and that, you know, so I can't tell you that right now, to be frank, Mr. Chairman, but I can get back to you relatively soon. I'll talk to the staff and get that for you. And both, because the voucher wait list, I mean, that's the one. I mean, it's so old, number one.
Right.
And it's hard to find those people, number two. And you got to get down low enough in order to be able to open that one up too, number three. But the other problem with the vouchers, which I was going to transition to anyway, was because I'm looking at utilization. That's our biggest issue right now, utilization on both sides of the house. So the public housing side, turn more units, I can get that utilization up, right? On the voucher side, it's going to take a little longer. What people don't understand is how the voucher program works. You know, it's actually really a complex formula as to how it works in terms of generating numbers and making things happen. And now you add on the challenges of an outdated list, right? And then so here you are now. It's almost like the perfect storm that you don't want to see. So it's going to probably take us about like 2 years to get the voucher utilization up, because they're pulling maybe like 75,000 a month, and they only got like 300 responses, and it's still like 37,000 people on the list that they have to go through. So we're going to get there, but that's going to be a slower process because of how it works and because of how lease-up times and everything else affect, you know, your utilization as to how HUD counts it. And so here we are now at the end of the year. You know, also you get absorptions from other housing authorities, and that drags your numbers down as well. And that happens every year. So we should be accounting for that. I don't know where they were. I haven't looked at the last year's numbers, but that's something that happens all the time. So when you're leasing up, you want to put a little extra in there because you know you're going to lose some, right? But we're not even at that point yet. My main thing now is to get through that wait list as quickly as possible so we can get it down, open a new one, but also set up the process in such a way that we're leasing up to the degree that we need to so that we can increase that utilization, which is going to probably take about 2, maybe 3 years, to be frank with you. And that's just the truth of the matter. So.
So one thing I want to ask, Director, is with more vendors, you're going to need more management to manage them, right? And so that's going to go on as well with the turning the units over quicker. And if we bring in more people, supervision of the vendors, supervision of the contractors, et cetera, that'll be also in there, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Well, Rick, the fact that I have a path forward to bring more units on
Yes.
is the real piece of it. Finding people to project manage it, I'll take care of that. But I really need to get them in these units to turn more so we can
Amen.
house more people.
Yeah.
I guess I want to, it's an overused metaphor, but we are flying the plane while we're building it.
Yes.
And I want to make sure that you have the time to build the plane. And I hear you saying that that will take time,
Yes.
but we also got to fly the plane.
Yes.
And when I want to, I'm not sure, I think I may be misunderstanding a little bit. If what you're saying is it's gonna, like, say on PHA occupancy.
Right.
If you're saying it's gonna take 2 years to get to 98% occupancy, I can live with that.
Right.
But the problem I think that at least I'm feeling as a board member is that we have been here almost a year. And when we arrived, our PHA occupancy was low to mid-70s. And we, after all of this urgent needs work and going through the waiting list and all this, what has felt like progress, we are still, our PHA occupancy is still in the low to mid-70s.
Yes.
And I guess I would say that of the metrics that I'm sort of most focused on in my head, it's PHA occupancy, it's voucher utilization, federal and local. It's urgent needs, obviously progress on urgent needs relates to PHA occupancy, and then kind of where we are on rent reasonableness. And so I guess that's a long windup to say, I understand we can't go from 74% to 98% in a couple months, but we can't keep treading water.
I understand.
And then even if it's next month, we're at 75 and then we're at 76 and then we just gotta demonstrate progress. And I know you know that, but I just want to say that out loud.
And that's the goal. That's
Yeah.
why we need more vendors, because right now, the vendors that we have, they're turning units, but all we're doing is transferring people over. We're just shifting people over.
Uh-huh.
So if I get more vendors on the street to turn more units, then I can start building utilization too, because those vendors are going to be used now to turn units so we can pull off their wait list and house people.
So last month, we offered 66 families new units. This month, or November, it was 44. I mean, it just seems like we got it. It doesn't seem like we should be limited to that small a number. Maybe that's because of urgent need, those units are about to start to come online and then we can get those numbers up. But, you know, people are walking out the back door. That means we gotta have more people coming in the front door than are walking out the back
And
door.
again, it's a numbers game. I mean, the reality is, I'll give you a perfect example. We were in New Orleans and we had to lease up all these vouchers. And we project-based a lot of them. And so the staff would pull in maybe like 150 a month and we weren't getting the numbers. So at the end of the day, we end up pulling like 1,000 a month to get the people, because most people don't want
Right.
PBVs because they want a voucher they can move, especially in New Orleans after the storm, right?
Mhm.
So they wanted tenant-based vouchers. But to lease up all of this vouchers that I got some money for, I had to do some PBVs, but nobody wanted PBVs. But so I said, listen, pull more people. And we've had this conversation with PMO recently, it was like a week or two ago, where we told Nolan, I said, listen, we need to now pull more people and we need to think more like a market rate developer who's pre-leasing, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Because they weren't doing it.
Yeah.
But we did have the conversation, saying, no, you have to think like a market rate person and we need to start pre-leasing. So as soon as that unit hits, bam, we got people locked.
Because it's
in.
like every day a unit isn't occupied is an opportunity lost.
Yeah.
Right? And
What did I tell her, Nicole? She's costing me money, right? So that's every day I got a vacancy, I'm
Yeah.
losing money.
yeah.
I'm very grateful for what you've outlined so far. So I want to show appreciation for that. And I do really take to heart what we were talking about in our annual training about us not being in your day-to-day and allowing you to. So please take my comment like with that, like in context.
I'm easy.
Okay, perfect. So, as the Interagency Council on Homelessness, as a part of the body that's like super concerned about the lease-up process and has dove in deep into what's working and not working about the eligibility determination process, the lease-up process, I promise you, we have years of notes on what's not working. And so this is what's framing my request to participate and support the assessment process that you are doing.
Right.
Because there is already so much existing information about like what isn't working.
Right.
Especially about the processes in place.
Right.
We've captured this information from the perspective of so many, people and agencies that have that do participate and are impacted
Sure.
by your processes. So I would very much like to better understand the assessment process. I'm so glad you have experts with deep knowledge about doing this both on a national level and specifically with the other housing authorities that you've worked with. But it would be super helpful to understand. I'm happy to do that as part of the committee
Right.
level of the work. It doesn't have to be at the board level. But I think that there's a lot in terms of the assessment process itself
So,
and speeding up those.
so some of you will probably interview during the assessment process, just so you know, because you got the resources. So, and nothing's off limit.
Okay.
Understand that. Listen, everywhere we can get information that's going to allow us to set up this recovery plan, improve operations, I'm open for it.
Yeah, because pre-leasing only works if your eligibility determination process, it moves quickly enough through those names that you are pulling up. You can't ask people to pull names up and and process people quickly with a process that is like broken or has too many steps that don't make sense and.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I started earlier, when I said it's broken. It's broken in ways the HUD report doesn't even do it justice, right? So I get it. And again, I'm open to any resources that you all have, information you have. I mean, that's the only way we're gonna do this the right way. And obviously, as a board, anything that we do will be brought to you all as well for your feedback. So, and your input, because you guys see it and live with it too, so.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When we talk about the needs, how, is there a way that you're capturing the data? Like, I think one of the biggest problems is not having the units that the people on the wait list need. We have a lot of families that may need 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. In repairing and getting these units ready,
Right.
is there a priority? Are we just doing, 1 bedrooms or I know you have a plan,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna trust your plan, but is there a way that we are making sure that those needs that we know of, like everyone tells me, oh, I'm on the wait list, I filled out the application, but you don't have the size, the family size. How can we address that to be more effective and efficient?
So what we need to do, which is what we're doing right now, we need to have an accurate inventory of what we have, including unit sizes. That's number one. So we've started now, because I'm in mode of trust but verify. I've been provided some information and data. Listen, I'll be frank with you. We do have some data integrity issues. Now, they're not maybe way off, but we know that they don't make sense in certain ways. And so we're going to touch every unit. I guess staff walking and touching every unit. So, and we're going to inventory. We're going to take pictures of it. And then we're going to identify the unit size, because without accurate inventory, you really can't plan how to do it right and do it effectively, right? So we're going to take care of that too, because there are some issues there. There are a lot of issues, and we could probably be here all day talking about the issues. But in general, like I said, everything's broken, and we need to fix it all. But it's got to be very measured, and I need to manage expectations. And again, it's going to be base hits, little hits, just moving a runner down the line until we score. But trust to know that we're on it, and we're going to continue to bring in staff and do what we need to do and to provide better service to the residents, because that's what we need to be.
Continue.
So that was it. I'm good. I'll take it.
You done?
Yeah.
Questions? I think Commissioner Murphy has a couple data questions, so no?
No, I mean, I think, there's no point in I think the director's on them.
Yeah, I do, I appreciated the format and the detailed tables. I at least wanted to say that out loud. It's a level of information that actually helps to contextualize and ground us in the work of the Housing Authority. So I wanted to acknowledge and commend you for that.
You have this pattern of, let me say something nice to you. Here we go. See, this, it's a caring thing. I know, right? Listen,
Yeah.
you better just go right to the chase.
No, I really appreciate data. And there's nothing that we can really analyze and understand without the data.
Yes.
So when I compliment you, I am like truly being genuine about it. I'm not buttering you up for what's coming
I got
next.
you, Pinocchio.
But
Let's get-
I do though, in the report, and I'm assuming this is because it's preliminary.
Right.
You did not include the local vouchers that are, the utilization for the local vouchers related to the MOU with, the
So
department.
you want that in the executive summary?
In
No,
the
in
table.
the table,
Okay.
it's not
I
in
don't know
the,
why it's not there. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It
So
may be
it's-
embedded in it may be included in the
I doubt
local.
it. You
Okay.
probably just missed it. To
No,
be frank with you, you probably
it
just missed it.
says it is not.
Okay.
Like, there's an asterisk
Oh,
that
you're right,
says
you're right.
it is not a
You're right.
part of this
Okay.
equation.
But we can make it a line item.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make,
Yeah.
we'll capture,
Yeah.
we'll capture it next time.
But I.
Because it should be there.
think It's a line item.
Okay,
I
it should
think
be
it is.
its
You
own
gotta
section.
replicate
That's what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is,
Yep.
we'll provide the information.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry we don't have it in there now, but
Yes.
it should be there because we need to track that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I wanted to like recognize that a part of why I'm here
Yeah.
is that link with the Interagency Council on Homelessness and for homeless services.
Okay.
Those resources and how they're being managed
Yes.
are central.
Okay,
Yeah.
no
Okay.
problem.
Well, and one of the things that's really encouraging to me about the data and the way you're presenting it is it's starting to be in a format that I can tell you're using it to manage by.
Yes, yes.
And I think sometimes we would get data where it was just like, here's the data, but you didn't have the sense that it was being used to manage.
Yes.
This feels like you're using it to manage, and that's really
Well, that's the goal.
confidence boosting for a board member. So thanks.
Especially when I start showing the previous month's numbers, so you
Yes.
start to see whether
Yes.
we're regressing or making
Yes.
progress, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the
exactly.
next board book you'll see will have it.
Do you believe the compliments now?
I know, right? So,
I want to give you another affirmation. You've met with a lot of people, and one of the things about DCHA, it's got a bad reputation right now, and you probably have run into it and you see it in the broader public. And you met with us at the Coalition Nonprofit Housing and Community Development Organizations. We have like 90 to 100 organizations in that group, and I know you've been meeting, but that was a great meeting. Everybody was really impressed, and I hope we can build on. I mean, you just have to build one step at a time. It's building a, it's not one big fell swoop. So I want to give you some praise, even though we're not really off and running yet and out of the gate, but you are making an impact on what the perceptions are out there. So I appreciate that so much.
thank you. Well, we got a lot of work to do. A lot of challenge in front of us, but I'm excited. I think the team is starting to understand and figure out that, you know what, we have a mission here. And it's number one, to take care of the residents and make this agency the best agency we can make it. And we'll get there. Slowly but surely, we'll get there.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? If not, then we're going to move on to the next agenda item. That's going to be testimony from our residents. And again, each person will have 3 minutes to testify. And you can testify on any of the resolutions that's on the agenda for today or any other issues that you have concerns about. So we're going to start with Patricia Bishop. Ms. Bishop, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
How are you today?
I'm fine. First, I would like to speak on the resolution of the 30-day, resolution 2355. The occupant.
Yep.
ACOP. Maybe I will have to wait until I hear what y'all actually are turning in, but just by reading what I see, I still would like to know what is anything going to be different from what y'all have already turned in, and what is the difference?
So it's my understanding that there's an emergency act that was enacted, obviously prior to my arrival, that allowed us to transition from the old ACOP to this new version of the ACOP that we're working with HUD on. And it's my understanding also that that time is about to expire, and so we needed to do another emergency resolution in order to be able to extend that time frame so we can continue to work with HUD to finalize the ACOP. So there's have been no changes other than working with HUD on, but we needed to extend that time so that way this version will still be active and we can use it.
Okay, and 2326, it would be, 2356, it would be no changes in that one either?
So it's the same setup, Ms. Bishop,
Okay,
absolutely.
yeah, okay, and looking forward to the decisions about Park Morgan. And back to Greenleaf comments. I appreciate, as the president, meeting with you. It was a wonderful experience. Look forward to meeting you with the GRAG leaders. With that date set up very soon. I know you're a busy man, but I appreciate when that opportunity comes also. And welcome to all new, and look forward to meeting y'all as well.
Yeah, we'll be reaching out soon. I'm coming to see you soon. I'm coming to see you before Christmas. How about that? I'm saying it on the record.
That's what I'm talking about. You can bring company with you.
I'll have Carla reach out to you right away after the meeting, Ms. Bishop. We'll see you soon.
Okay,
He'll be
thank you.
He'll be your Christmas present, Ms. Bishop.
Hey, I got one on the list. Can I get another?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next we have Mariah Morse. Ms. Morse? Okay, we're gonna move on to Corinne McKeever. Ms. McKeever, are you there? Okay, we're gonna go on. Chiquita Knott. No. Betty Queen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. I support the buy-in for residents, especially residents has been a part of the program for more than, I'm gonna say 5 years. And also I wanted to ask about accountability as well as responsibility for all three parties, tenants, staff, specialists, and as well as supervisors. And this can go on towards the inspectors as well. And then I also want to speak about, besides the buy-in, on side of the buy-in for those that are already in units who wish not to be relocated. Is there information that can be given to those who are interested in that versus having them to attend a self-sufficiency program?
I'm trying to understand your question in general, because you mentioned several things here. I just want to understand them. So you're asking about folks being interested in not moving? I thought I heard you say they don't want to transfer. So you saying
Yeah.
you want to talk about people that are not moved, that don't want to move? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that wish not to relocate from the unit they're in because they've been in that unit for maybe like 10 years. So that's a unit they wish to buy into versus having to relocate.
You say buy-in, I mean, you're not talking about purchasing, right? Because that's not not allowable, right? So you're just saying you want to remain in that unit.
If they're in a house, say if they're in a house and it's been said, well, it's been told by several people in several departments that you would have to go to the self-sufficiency program for that.
Oh, okay. So you're talking more about becoming a
Yeah.
homeowner. You're talking about becoming a homeowner.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Now I got you. Okay, I thought you were talking about a public housing unit, but you're talking about a voucher holder and leasing up a home. And now you
yes,
want to buy. You want to buy the home because you've been there, you like the space, and you want to stay.
yes,
Okay, all right. So what we probably need to do is connect you with our homeownership representative, Alice Ravel, so she can share more information with you about what we can do versus what we cannot do. And she can walk you through that process. So we got your name, Queen, and I'll make sure that Ms. Ravel reaches out to you ASAP, hopefully before the end of the week, so she can talk to you about what you're interested in, and hopefully she can answer your questions, okay?
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you,
welcome.
Ms. Queen.
You're welcome.
Okay, next on the list is Tanisha Deval. Ms. Deval? Okay, moving on, Lisa Smith McCoy. Are you there, Ms. Smith McCoy? Cheryl Thomas is next on the list. Cheryl Thomas?
And some of those are just, Chairman, because we've made a specific effort to try to reach out to people before the meeting and resolve some of them. And I know some of the staff resolve some of the issues, so that may
Okay,
be.
so they may not.
Yeah,
they
they may
not.
have signed up, but by then we've solved
Okay,
it.
so they may not be on
Yes.
because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we appreciate that. Yeah, it saves us some time. Joan Williams is next on the list. Joan Williams. Okay, staff is doing a good job. Corliss Lowry. Corliss Lowry. Okay, next on the list is Diane Rich.
Hi, this is Miss Lowry.
Oh, Ms. Lowry, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ms. Lowry. You have 3 minutes.
Pleasant good day to the board. This is Miss Lowry, Corliss Lowry. I don't know how many people remember me, but I started this journey, looks like in 7/12/21. So it's been a little long journey. In the beginning, I can say that it was frustrating. And I think I want to say that was on both parts. However, in between that time, things have turned out for the best. And so I'm just here to say and give housing a thank you, a thumbs up. Tell you I appreciate you. You don't get a lot of calls like this. I'd like to start off with thanking Ms. Dorothy Glenn, who was at the time when I started this venture was the person that I was running from at the apartment I was at, who's the person who took care of things. I'd like to thank Ms. Carolyn Putner. I'd like to thank Ms. Lynch, Brenda Lynch. I'd like to thank Ms. Donalds, Brenda Donalds. I'd like to thank Ms. Ruiz. I had to get a lawyer at one time. Ms. Catherine Fergie, she also was a lawyer. They did help. And then after that, I think in 22, we moved to, there was also Ms. Dawn Boyd. I'd like to thank her, and Lori Bonds. So moving into 22 to 23, I'd like to thank Ms. Jackson. I'd like to thank Ms. Ashley Davis. I'd like to thank Ms. Lauren Carter, Mr. Queen, and Mr. Daniels. If I have forgotten anyone, please forgive me. But I do want to say, in the beginning, like I said, the journey was frustrating. I felt like maybe I wasn't being heard. But then, I had to realize, too, I had to think about, after every call, I had to go back and think about how did I present myself. And so I would like to tell all the residents that's on here, it's not that you can't get things done. It's that we, too, come on here sometimes with an attitude. We sometimes come in a little forceful. We, too, come, and I'm not saying that we always do that because I hear people come humbly. I hear people come and asking questions and not getting answers. I'm saying that there has been a turn of events since the new board has come over. I just must say that. The attitudes have changed. I don't know if the same people are on there. I don't know if people went and got some more people lessons. I don't know, but I know when the board changed, it became a little more congenial. I didn't feel like I had to fight. I didn't feel like people wasn't listening. I didn't feel like people had an attitude. I didn't feel like, nobody told me what I wasn't going to get. People actually listened. They tried to help. If they couldn't help, they sent me to someone else. I got my calls met. I got my calls answered, and I got my needs met. As of that, I am in a 4-bedroom Section 8 house because I too changed my attitude. You can't get nothing, throwing crap at people. You know what I'm saying? So I realized I too had to change my attitude and realize what was I doing wrong. So, I'd like to apologize if there was anything that I did that was out of order. But I do want to thank Housing, DCRJ, Regulatory Affairs, all the people that came out for inspections. I just want to say thank you. And I just want to tell people, if we take the time, we pray about a thing, we can get things done. Thank you, Housing. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you,
Mr. Queen.
thank you, Ms.
Mr. Queen
Lowry.
was great. I wanna give thumbs up to Mr. Queen and Mr. Daniels. They were absolutely perfect in this situation. Not once did I get an attitude like they didn't want to talk to me. I just want to put that out there. We get bonuses. We need to get bonuses when a resident calls in and says, this is what's happening. This is what I got from a person. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Lowry. We have to move on, but thank you. We
All right,
appreciate
thank you.
we appreciate your comments, and I'm glad to see that your situation was resolved. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on, Diane Rich.
Hello, this is Miss
Hello.
McKeever. This is Miss
This-
McKeever.
I'm sorry. One person at a time. I called Ms.
Miss
McKeever.
McKeever.
Ms. McKeever, I called a while ago, so you can come up now, Ms. McKeever. Are you there? Okay,
Right, McKeever.
okay, go ahead, Ms. McKeever.
All right. I'm a grandparent, and I lost my daughter a couple of years back, and my other daughter, I had her children. So I've been raising grandkids a lot, and now I'm to the point that I can't walk anymore, and I'm in need of a 3-bedroom handicap, something my wheelchair can get into that's affordable, which I've been having a long, hard time finding because I can't find nothing that everything I've looked at got stairs, and I can't get in there because of the stairs. So that's the problem I've been having, trying to get a place that I can get my stuff in. And they have to come and get me by stretcher a lot to go to the doctors and ambulance and stuff because I'm on 24-hour oxygen. Also, I have a pacemaker in my heart, along with not being able to walk. So
You are a voucher holder, is that correct? You're a voucher holder?
yeah, I have a voucher, and I can't. I'm afraid to get up on like the 13th and 14th floor because
Okay.
I remember when I was on a high level floor and the ambulance and the fire department left me there when the building caught on fire before, and it frightened me so bad. Although they put the fire out, but it happened so many times, it frightened me so bad I had to get out of there because it was too far up and I couldn't get out. So I was trying to find something like on the ground or first floor, something maybe no further than the second, because you have a better chance of getting out of the building if you're not too high up. And every time I try to find something, all the low apartments are already gone. I don't know what people know that I don't know, because they're getting these apartments as soon as they're built. They're gone. All the low apartments are gone, and all the handicap ones are gone. They don't have but maybe 2 or 3 in there, and they only have but so many vouchers they're going to take. And it's hard to get a 3-bedroom. So I've been trying for about 3 years now. My voucher is about to go again on January. I still haven't found nothing. So I'm going to have to wait until August if I don't find nothing by next month. And I can't find nothing. It's just been a losing battle every year. I just go wait till August to get another. We can't find nothing. I'm sorry, Mr. Keeper, we don't have anything. Everywhere I go, they don't have it. When are they going to build anything for grandparents raising their grandkids that's disabled? they can build some housing for us so that we can, be able to get in and out of, we can go straight on in with our wheelchair. Our place, we got a room right on the ground floor, and if the kids have to be upstairs, they can, you can be on the ground floor. This something we can maybe sit on the porch or something too, if we want to. Or right now, I can't do anything but stay in my bed, but I might want to get up one day. Might one room to be able to get out of the room, but right now, the room I'm in now is so tiny, I can't even hardly move around and they can't even get me out of the room.
So Ms. McKeever, we have your information, so we'll have the staff follow up with
Yeah,
you and
have-
see what we can do.
Yeah, Hammer
We're
just
really,
texted me.
really sorry to hear about your situation, but we'll try to work with you and see what we can do.
Yeah, don't worry, but don't reach out.
Where I'm at now is horrible. Where I'm at is horrible. I really need to get out of here.
Okay,
I
thank you so much.
Thank
You will hear from us this afternoon. Someone will call you.
We'll give a call.
Oh, thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm back to Diane Rich.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I wanted to
Is
thank
this-
everyone that, yes, this is Diane.
Okay,
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
Miss Rich.
Name just changed up under there.
It is. First. Towns.
oh, okay. All right, go ahead, Miss Rich.
All right. I just wanted to say that I thank everyone for coming out. I also wanted to say that housing is a human right, and I wanted to speak about the Housing Authority. I wanted to get help with resolving an injustice that happened to me being a voucher holder. The type of voucher that I had, I could go anywhere in the 50 states. I had a hearing with the Housing Authority, and it was myself against the Housing Authority lawyer, Andrea. And in that case, I won my case. It was a judge there as well. I won my case, and the Housing Authority never honored what the judge told them to do. And that was reinstate my voucher. And so I would like someone to get me that documentation. I've heard it all about bad record keeping. They have to go in the warehouse. My information was in the public, not only myself, thousands of people. And I want to get that hearing documentation, and to resolve it, I would like to be compensated, and I would like to have my voucher immediately. And I have had not only an issue with the Equity Residential where I live at, but there is something going on right now where the city is suing 14 different, what they're calling them residential cartels, because they're price gouging, and that's probably a reason why there is not a lot of units. But they are being sued by DC government. They are suing these RealPage, which is an AI generated something that gives the rents, and they're all in cahoots with each other. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. That may be a reason why there is not a lot of units that I know that they have, because there's a lot of units here. I also wanted to speak on the code violations that they have where I am, and those other 14 units. We have had someone from the building I believe that's over at DCRA, come to my building for fire code violations, in which I had been stating this when I had first moved into this apartment, that it was a fire code violation going on, and my whole apartment burned down a few days after I moved in. And it was inspected, and they found out that it was the apartment's fault. I was not compensated. I got in touch with the regular channels. I called someone in Ward 3 because I'm in my units in Ward 3. I'm in civic lead, so I am very familiar with the different wards. I'm in Ward 3. I felt like I should have been given my voucher at that time.
So Ms.
because I
Fridge,
had a
Ms.
fire.
Fridge, we're going to have someone follow up with you to see what happened with your voucher and see if we can resolve your situation. But we have to move on at this point.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I knew I only had 3 minutes, but I believe I got as much as I possibly could out. And I appreciate you for what you're doing. It's very impressive. Thank
Thank you so much. Okay, next on the list is Paulette Matthews.
Okay.
Hi, Ms. Matthews.
Today I wasn't going to say anything, but and listen to the call, I got a couple of things. I want to, for real. I'm going to piggyback on a whole lot of different things that y'all spoke about. And one of the things I want to address first is shelter and housing. Those people who actually live in shelters, who have been in those shelters for 3 to 4 years, whatever the case may be, they cannot become a productive citizen. I mean, a lot of them still work or whatever the case may be, but I think that if they were to be able to get efficiency or room or something, that their problems can be resolved a little better. That's just to touch bases on that, because even those who are trying to get emergency transfers and things of that nature are having difficulties. So I can understand why they're kind of sort of left behind, but that's just something that I was listening to and heard shelter, and that came to mind. Now, far-wise as the director, I appreciate the fact that you reached out to me and we had a conversation, and that we have many more conversations in reference to that. I know that you're coming aboard, and as we all know, just like the board members who are now in position, y'all are not too long ago coming aboard with this, and we all going to have to do a lot better coming into 2024. We're going to all have to give each other respect and be able to communicate, not just check the boxes off to say that it was done. We have to not just say these words, because sound effect is good, but action and real time, or a better time frame than what we have been experiencing, need to take place here in 2004 and make the difference. Far-wise as us being able to speak, again, before I said that I think it's best that us as the residents, we should speak first. Even if it's a resolution that a person wants to speak about that is a resident, they still should come after the residents who don't have anything to say about the resolution. Because as we sit here and we go through this, a lot of people drop calls, wind up doing different things, whatever the case may be. Got to go get the kids from school, whatever it has to be. And we only do this once a month. And then you cut our time back to 3 minutes. Whereas though we have to sit and listen to y'all go back and forth and back. And I appreciate that, being able to be on the call to hear that. But I think that the residents' voice is what needs to be heard and understood, and also what they're saying to be manifested into what's happening and going on around us. So when I heard someone say, and I don't know who was who at this point because I don't see anybody, tread waters was the conversation that was brought up. We've been treading waters for a long time. And I'm feeling a little different with this director that we're moving forward with. And hopefully everybody will just again, you know, we are in this together and we have to work together and we have to make it something so much different than what we've already experienced, seen, heard, know, or whatever the case may be. You're aware of the properties in which you have. I don't know if it's fully staffed or not. I don't know if supplies are fully staffed because things are not really done in real-time situations where as though your problem gets worse while you sit there and wait for things to come. I feel as though if you know how many faucets or sinks or whatever you have on the property, I don't know how the warehouse situation goes either, but I think that there should be enough and there should be an inventory. I don't know how it goes, but however way it's going, it's not right. So that's broken as well, and it needs to be fixed. Everything is pretty much broken, has been broken for some time now, but the great part about it is we're in positions to be able to fix it, and now it's the time to do it instead of talk about it. And that's all I really have to say for today.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Oh,
Matthews. So
no,
you've
I would like to thank everybody. I'm sorry. Hold on. I would like to thank everybody that I've spoke with, everybody that has helped me out through my nightmare. First off, I would like, even though she's gone, I'm going to always thank Ms. Punter and also Ms. Hightower, then Ms. Davis, Mr. Bonds, Ms. Havel, Mr. Allen, Mr. Denning, all of y'all. I appreciate y'all. I know I took everybody through a headache in Winsville, but I just couldn't take it. Everything was being overwhelmed with me. And so it's calming down a little bit, but I take this personal, and sometimes I get overhyped, but don't take it personal. I appreciate y'all all, and everybody have a happy holiday. See, I got that hype. I couldn't even say holiday.
Thank you, Ms. Matthews. Thank you for your kind comments.
You're welcome.
Okay, next is Shanta High.
Hello.
Hello.
Proverbs 13:20. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Greetings to everyone. I'm Ms. Shantae High, President of the Council at Park Morton. Today I'm here to reestablish the connection with DCHA under the leadership of Mr. Keith Pettigrew, the new executive director. Mr. Pettigrew and I have had some vibrant conversation and communication, and I hope to keep the positive exchanges flowing. In the past, under the past leadership of the former executive directors, DCHA refused to cooperate with me as president by impeding upon my communication with off-site residents, refusing to invite me to any and all meetings held with and for Park Morton residents, has defamed my character and was stopped by way of press release, and so much more that has also ultimately affected the way the Citywide Advisory Board has treated me as well. Under the redevelopment of the New Communities Initiative, NCI, I am still and will remain the resident council president. I have helped, fought for, bled for, cried for, and sweated for my community. In the famous words of Dylan Thomas, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. I rage every time I am ignored by DCHA, as I have been for the past 3 months when I ask on behalf of the people, how can a family port or transfer their voucher out of DC? I rage every time residents ask, Ms. High, when will you be doing your emergency preparedness at our property? I'm looking forward to learning from you. And DCHA ignores the fact that it has not been in HUD Section 3 compliance by giving resident-owned businesses opportunities to get contracts. I rage every time an authority figure decides that it is best to leave me out of the decisions regarding my residents when my residents are asking, was Ms. High there? Inclusion is the name of the game here. Even if people do not like me, I still am a resident of Park Morton and have been for 21 and a half years. And this move of mine was not by choice, it was by force. I was threatened by DCHA to either move or be unhoused. When you're left with no options to take, you take the options to keep your children safe. So with that being said, DCHA cannot leave me out of the meeting meetings. From this day forward, I am requesting in the eye of the public to be included in any and all Park Morton redevelopment meetings, citywide advisory board meetings, and president's meetings. And as I close, do Hebrews 13:2, do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. I am Ms. High. Thank you for your time. Happy holidays and a prosperous new year.
Thank you, Ms. Hyde. Okay, next on our list is Linda Brown. Ms. Brown, are you there? Okay, we're going to move on to Detrice Belt. Detrice Belt. Okay, then Donna Towns. Okay, Donna Towns is not there.
Hello.
Hello, okay, who's that?
Hi, my name is Donna Towns,
Okay.
and I'm a Park Morton resident. And I would like to thank you all because I've received a lot of help from the DCHA Park Morton staff, and I'm having an issue. I'm having an issue now with having the May 2017 to March 2018 rent charges, having them removed from my account because my daughter moved out, and the whole period of time Ms. Barnes was on sick leave. So when she returned, I had her removed, but the charges are still on my account, and I'm having difficulty trying to get those charges removed. From June, the charges from June 2017 to March 2018, those are the charges in which I would like to have removed. And so I'm having an issue with that. And I also want to thank the staff for finally recertifying me. I completed my recertification, and I'm happy about that. But lastly, I would like to speak about the unlawful eviction of apartment 620 Morton Street, apartment 21. I'm very disappointed that happened, and DCHA does not want to take into account the actions of Miss Betty Diallo, the Park Morton manager at the time, for her actually doing that. I've taken it to court, but my case was dismissed because I didn't file a complaint within 180 days. I tried to let them know that within those 180 days, I was in a rehabilitation center. I had a physical injury, so I was in rehab. So I wasn't unable to do it. So I would like to get a positive resolution for the loss of my property. And I just want to thank you all for listening, and I hope you all have a happy holidays and a happy new year. Thank you. Again, my name is Donna Towns. I'm a Park Morton resident, and I need assistance. So I look forward to hearing from you all. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Towns.
Thank you.
So I believe those are all of the residents who've signed up to testify this morning or this afternoon.
Excuse me 1 second, Mr. Skinner. I'm going to submit testimony for the Park Morton
Is that
email.
okay?
I said I'm going to submit my testimony for the resolution of Park Morton via email.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on next to committee reports. But before I do that, I want to go out of order, and I'm going to allow Mr. William Jordan to testify now because I know he wants to talk about a couple of the resolutions. So before we take action on the resolutions, I'm going to allow him to provide his testimony. Mr. Jordan, welcome.
Welcome. I feel special now.
You are, you are special.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Asking the board to table resolution 2353. I emailed my testimony. I hope you read it. But we really need time to talk about this. Unfortunately, this continues the pattern of that's happened in the past. And, you know, we traded the Wizards and the Capitals to Alexandria to get the new director. And I really expect him to take us in a different direction. And unfortunately, this resolution sends us back down the same old path. And again, I wrote some of it in my email. I won't go over it now, but I do really want to make this one point on this resolution. And, you know, we're talking about spending, you know, using a securities method to get money to the developer, which I think is shaky in the first place. The way it's being done, I think is being done to silence input, particularly from residents, by using this particular process. But on top of it, again, we're going to end up providing public support for this development team, close to $50 million. And we're getting reports that 0 residents from Park Morton have been hired in this process. And, you know, to me, it's just 100% ridiculous. Again, we've been talking and working on home ownership. I read the resolution and it refuses to tie the benefits of this project specifically to Park Morton residents and specifically to affordable home ownership. The goal is not just to allow the developer to flip market rate housing, but that's the way the resolution is basically read. It's developer, project, bricks, but not people. And so I'm gonna end it at that, but I'm asking you to table it, sit down, talk to us. We're not gonna bite. We really want to help. Similarly with the new market tax credits. Again, you're funneling money to nonprofits, but I can't find a direct link to how these things are going to directly impact the economic and social position of first Park Morton residents, but public housing residents in general. The link needs to be direct, not somewhere in the fuzzy, and hopefully some benefits will come. And then finally, I agree with the director and much of what he said, but he still leaves out, if you don't use residents as active, particularly resident councils, as active partners in this, you'll never catch up. The reason it's going to take time because we still want to have a superhero mentality that somebody from the mountain is coming to fix it. Until you bring the residents, make them full partners, give them the tools they need, I guarantee you those things we're talking about will take 2-3 years to fix. We can get it done in a year. So I'll leave it. Please pull this resolution. Don't do this. It sends all the wrong signals. And that's particularly 2353. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. We always appreciate your comments. Okay, so now we're going to move on to committee reports. And I'm going to start with the Budget and Audit Committee. The chair, Ms. Commissioner Reed, is not here today, so Commissioner Lee is going to do that report.
Okay, so we have before us today the final audit as of September 30th, 2021. And this went through several reviews by the Audit and Finance Committee. And there were, of course, as updates were provided, there were several delays that led to the actual audit being delivered at this time frame. But I think we, as an audit committee, are comfortable with today's submission. And I don't, unless there are other questions or specific questions, I think we are.
So my only question, so this is the audit for fiscal year 2021. And what is the time frame now for moving on to 2022? Because I think we're already behind schedule on 2022. So,
Yeah, so I spoke with the, what's the guy's name? Is it Justin Measley?
Yes.
Yeah, about where we are with 22. So they're looking to deliver 22, I think they said around March of next year.
Justin is who?
Auditor.
Auditor, I'm sorry, that's what's it.
CLA.
Yeah. And obviously they're working on 23 as well, because my goal is to get all of that because HUD's breathing down my neck, right? So we're gonna bring in some more help to help him. He said we need another fee accountant. So we're looking to bring on another fee accountant to help them so they can move with 23 as well. So, because 23 is gonna be due relatively soon after March when they deliver 22. So that was the timeline he gave me when I talked to him about, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Any other questions? Hearing none, then Chair will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2350, which is to accept the final audit of DCHA for fiscal year 2021. A motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote on the motion.
Sure. Commissioner Katrina Jones,
Approved.
Commissioner Denise Blackson. Commissioner Blackson? I'll skip, come back. Commissioner Chris Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ronnie Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Jim Dickerson,
Yes.
Commissioner Teresa Silla,
Approved.
Commissioner Melissa Lee,
Yes.
and I'm gonna come back. Commissioner Denise Blackson, are you still with us? Okay, not hearing an answer. And Chairman Raymond Skinner.
Yes.
Perfect. You have 7. The resolution is approved.
Okay. All right, anything else from the Budget and Audit Committee? Okay, thank you, Commissioner Lee. Next, we're going to move on to the Operations Committee, Operations Administrative Committee. Commissioner Jones.
Thank you. So the committee met on December 1st, and we're presenting the following resolutions for the board's consideration. The committee recommends Resolution 2352 to authorize a contract modification to DCHA's Enterprise Resource Planning Application Software. This contract modification will provide additional modules, which are the Maintenance IQ, Case Manager, Online Certification, and SharePoint Document Management to the Yardi system.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 23-52.
I move.
Second?
Second.
Second was Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, okay. Roll call vote?
Sure, this is for Resolution 2352. Teresa Silla, sorry.
Approved.
Thank you. Commissioner Katrina Jones,
Approved.
Commissioner Ronnie Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Melissa Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Chris Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Jim Dickerson,
Yes.
perfect, and Chairman Raymond Skinner.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 7 approved. The resolution is passed.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, we
Commissioner
have,
Jones. Okay.
next up, we have Resolution 2355, which is to authorize the publication of the third emergency and proposed resolution for DCHA's admission and continued occupancy policy, which ACOP. And this publication will allow for further discussion and consideration prior to finalizing the regulation. And as the executive director stated earlier, it's the same. There are no changes. It's just allowing us additional time to review all of the comments and further consider any changes.
So I know that there's been a lot of concern about this. So, Mr. Executive Director, can you just tell us a little bit more about the process and the timing for moving this forward?
So my understanding that this emergency legislation is for what, 120 days?
Yes.
Okay, and we came up against it recently, so But we're still in discussions with HUD about the changes that were made. And so we're hoping to have all of this resolved before the next 120 days expires, pretty much. But we're sitting with HUD to talk about both the ACOP and the admin plan, because they haven't been finalized yet.
Right, so I know we've been getting feedback and having a lot of meetings with some of the advocacy and interest groups. So are we continuing that process?
My understanding so far that most of those comments have been already included in the changes,
Great,
right?
okay.
Right, so, but we'll circle back. Now that I'm here, we'll circle back and kick the tires.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 23-55, which is the authorized publication of the third emergency proposed regulations of DCHA admissions and continued occupancy policy, ACOP.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
Sure. Commissioner Teresa Silla. Approve. Thank you. Commissioner Jim Dickerson.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Chris Murphy.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Melissa Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Ronnie Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Katrina Jones.
Approved.
Thank you. And Chairman Raymond Skinner.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 7 yes, the resolution is approved.
Can I make a remark?
Yes.
Only because I think this actually connects to some of the resident feedback that we also heard from, I think it was Miss Paulette Matthews, who was talking about the importance of supporting people who are experiencing homelessness and in shelter get into housing. So one of the things, and I'm really happy to hear you say you're willing to kick the tires again, because one of the changes that we made as a concession to the fact that it takes, it potentially impacts the ability to process eligibility quickly, was the homeless preference was removed, right? As we are grappling with fiscal constraints across the district, and we are thinking through the impact of that in terms of the vouchers that are available and will be allocated for people experiencing homelessness, not just the next year, but in the, we also are taking into account what the budget forecast looks like over a 2, 3, 4-year period. I think we may have moved too quickly on that front. And I think there might be other ways in which we can gain efficiencies for expediting the review of people and still maintain a preference for homelessness or people experiencing homelessness. So I would like for us to kick the tires a little bit, at least around that topic. So I appreciate you saying that, and I wanted to make the connection with what we were hearing from resident feedback.
All right, Commissioner Jones, you
Yep.
continue?
Yes, last resolution is 2356, and it's an emergency and proposed regulation of DCHA's administrative plan. And this extension allows, again, for continued discussion and consideration of the comments and information received before the regulation is finalized.
Any questions, comments? If there are none, then I entertain a motion to approve resolution 23-56.
Motion.
Commissioner Lee, motion, second.
Second.
Commissioner Sulla.
Perfect.
Okay, roll call vote.
Sure. Commissioner Denise Blackson. Commissioner Denise Blackson. Okay. Commissioner Melissa Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Chris Murphy.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Ronnie Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Teresa Silla.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Katrina Jones.
Approved.
Thank you. Commissioner Jim Dickerson.
Yes.
Thank you. And Chairman Raymond Skinner.
Yes.
Perfect. You have 7 yeses. The resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Jones, anything else from the Operations Committee?
No, that's all.
Okay, thank you for your report. So then we're going to move on to the Capital Projects Committee. Commissioner Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we have 2 resolutions for the board to consider today coming out of the Capital Projects Committee. The first one, I believe, is 2353, which is regarding Part Morton. And we heard Mr. Jordan express some concerns, and he also emailed several board members with some concerns about the project, and I think it was important that we hear them. It sounds like there are some open questions about the phase one, progress of phase one, and some commitments that potentially were made to the community. And I know it's important to the board and to the staff. I know Director Pettigrew has weighed in on it. It's important that we sort of get to the bottom of what was promised and what has been or not been delivered. At the same time, there are two phases to Park Morton, and the concerns that are being expressed are about the phase one piece of the development that is underway. And as important as those concerns that we've heard are, we also have to think about phase two, which has been in a holding pattern for some time. And so with the understanding that the director is going to ask his team to really focus and work with, there's a Park Morton Advisory Committee that's been set up that he's going to be directing his team to very clearly understand, try to get to the bottom of these concerns on phase one. I think the recommendation coming out of the committee is that we not let that hold up phase two, that there's a little bit of a disconnect saying there were concerns about phase one, but now stop on phase two. So I think don't see that connection the way some do. So with that said, coming out of committee, we were supportive of moving forward with this resolution, which all it will do, just to sort of put your mind at ease, all it will do is it will authorize the executive director and his team to enter into an MOU with DemPed on pre-development work and on additional planning around future demolition. And it will enable the agency to take about $20 million of funding from the city that will allow us to continue to plan to move that project forward. So there will be many future steps around Park Morton Phase 2 that will come before the board. And our recommendation to the full board today is to approve this so that we can keep going and simultaneously work out all these other issues that need to be worked out.
Excuse me, what is the next resolution after this one?
On Park Morton?
On Park Morton. You know?
Might be some time, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute, probably.
Yeah.
Gonna be what?
It's gonna be a while.
I don't know, but what is it? This
Next
is
step.
pre-development.
Oh,
What's the next, we're gonna have other resolutions on
Right.
Park Morton. Do you have any idea what the next one will be, or what the topic of the next one will be?
not until we kick the tires on where we are with everything.
All right, we gotta cross this hurdle before we get into that.
Yes.
Yeah, probably if we go by what we've done for others, is to approve the financing for the actual development. Remember, this is all pre-development.
I know this is pre-development, that's what I was asking, is there what's the next step? What's the next resolution we'll be asked to work with?
Again, I don't know specifically what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
But the board will, it will come back to the board.
Yeah,
at
I
least
know it
two
will.
other times.
I'm just trying to think, there's a number of them.
Right.
Yeah. You know, not related to pre-development, but around section 3 and the 3-point plan, or at least, the 3 priorities that you outlined for us as part of your
Every plan.
recovery plan. To me, it feels like we hear about section 3 and a disconnect between residents getting the outcomes that they want to see out of section 3 and section 3 hires. So I think it might also be helpful for us to understand, maybe we're not going to prioritize that the same way that we need to first prioritize operations and the process of getting people into units.
Right.
But it's got to be up there in terms of priorities. And so it might be helpful to let people know, how are we evaluating, when are we doing an assessment of section 3?
Right.
How it's working, how it's not working? How can they participate in that assessment process?
Right.
So that we have a section 3 that works, not just for Park Morton residents, but for all DC Housing Authority residents, because I think the feedback that we get about section 3 consistently since we've started for a year now is that there's something that's not working.
Yeah, it's not working. Let's be
Yeah.
frank about it.
Yeah.
And we did talk about it yesterday, specifically when I mentioned Ms. Aldana and the whole JOP program.
Okay,
about identifying Section 3 opportunities for our residents, because we're gonna be bringing on more vendors, right? So that's a start, and we are gonna revamp the program, so then we can share it with the residents, talk about, because Ms. Burbidge even mentioned it in our resident meeting, that she said, listen, we don't just wanna be painters, you know, we wanna apply for admin jobs. So all that's gonna tie into also the partnership with DOES. So it's on the radar, it's front and center.
Okay.
And by the time we get back to the next board meeting, hopefully I'll have a positive update for you all.
okay. And I wasn't expecting the next board meeting. I'm
I'm
okay if you push us to, no, because I appreciate it. Your measure. I don't want to promise things we're not
Yeah,
gonna
no, I
deliver,
get you.
right?
And I would either. Yeah.
What I appreciated was like that 2-3 year benchmark that you were giving us.
yeah.
So I was expecting you to say like, give me 4 months, but you're
So
saying,
here's the thing, with the job program specifically,
okay,
because we're bringing on more vendors, the first thing we talked about was hiring Section 3 folks.
okay,
Okay, so it's gonna start. Now, in terms of the full framework of it all, that may take a little longer, but at least that's a start. And
okay,
then residents can see it and we can have some, some outcomes already, because that's the goal. And we're gonna ramp it up. We talked about it yesterday, about improving the Section 3 program. That's part of it.
okay. And then one last thing, because home ownership seems to be central to this. And I heard you, when one of the residents brought up her concerns about home ownership, connecting her to
Ms. Marev.
And so is the same kind of assistance being offered to Park Morton residents? Is the issue actually about building the homeownership opportunities into the development itself? And facilitating that, like, how do we support them address that concern?
So in phase 2, I think there are 47 homeownership units as part of phase 2.
Okay.
So the question is how do we connect what's going to be built with the residents?
So just like with the Berry Farm situation, right, when we asked to pause the RFP, just understand how I tend to operate, particularly with issues like this.
Okay,
You have to educate the residents on the front end. Because what I've been hearing, what I've seen not work is that you dump it on them, and then you on the back end, you try to explain it, everybody has a bunch of questions, right? So we wanted to pause the Berry Farms RFP of finding a developer to do the home ownership piece. Because I want to put together a plan that we can take out to the residents and talk to them and the advocates about, here's how this is gonna work. Here's how many units we're talking about. Here's how many units.
Commissioners, the mic is very sensitive.
Here's how many units that are gonna be affordable. And then more importantly, how do I qualify? What is the eligibility stuff? Who's gonna fund the mortgage? So it's a lot of questions I like to get in front of before we even go down that road. So what you're gonna find from me and my team going forward, as long as I'm here, is that we're gonna be getting in front of this stuff and talk to the residents on the front end, putting together FAQs and just answering the tough questions. So that way, when we do drop that RFP or when we do roll out our homeownership plan for Park Morton, all of the questions have been answered on the front end and everybody's walking in the same direction.
okay, so what I'm hearing you say is before we get the next resolution
Right.
on,
You mean on homeownership?
no, on
Park Morton.
Park
It
Morton.
depends on what the resolution is gonna be though. See,
Okay.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
We
resolution.
said we don't know what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that's gonna be a couple of months at minimum, right?
I
It's
guess you
not
could
like,
disconnect, we don't wanna say before the next resolution,
Okay.
because we've already established in the previous conversation that we
Okay.
don't know what the next resolution
okay,
is.
and so in a couple of meetings though, we should be able to reassure Park Morton residents related to their homeownership concerns, related to their Section 3 concerns, how we're taking action and addressing their issues, and we can separate it entirely from approving this phase 2. Or-
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I think we need to be careful about managing expectations. I'm not
Okay.
comfortable saying within a couple months,
Yeah.
because we don't
Okay.
know.
Whenever
it's
it
gonna
comes,
be.
it comes.
What we need to say is, before this goes live,
Right.
we need to make sure we have a plan and all the FAQ answer and
Okay.
all that stuff. But
And we will.
I share the concern. I don't want, because people will hear this and then in 3 months, they'll say,
Where
you said in the
Yeah.
December meeting, why aren't we getting it?
Okay.
We don't know
And
yet.
it's fair to say that there's already some type of platform set up for home ownership within housing already. So when we incorporate it with the new property at Park Morton,
Right.
I would think we would follow some of the same aspects of what we're already doing for the home ownership program here in the district that Alice Ravel works with.
Right, absolutely, but there's
We
still
have
a lot
like
of.
a head start.
Still a lot of questions, but see, because Ms. Ravel, she deals with HPAP and all the other stuff, right?
Mhm.
But in this case, you know, you gotta find funding to build these homes, right?
Yep.
And that's not us, that's them finding a bank. Interest rates are through the roof right now, right?
Yep.
So you got a lot of questions that have to be answered. That's why I want to put together a plan to touch on all of this stuff, because they're gonna come.
Yeah.
Whether it's the residents or the advocates saying, how you financing it? How's the eligibility gonna work, you know? So there's a lot of questions that are different, a little different than what we do in-house, just so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, because I say that too, because there's houses that were built from the ground up that Housing Choice Voucher, residents bought, and I'm one of them. And that funding is there dealing with HVAP and everything else. So there's resources that will get a jump start in what we're trying to do with this new project.
Yes.
And we should utilize what we already have to kind of stay consistent with some things and maybe even bring on other resources that we find that are out there now that weren't out there before.
I agree.
Commissioner Dickerson, let me just answer your question, by the way. So 47 new townhomes, of those 30 are for home ownership and 17 are rental replacement to replace some of the units that'll be demolished. So just for the record.
And
Okay.
those 30 that are for home ownership, are they targeting affordable housing, low and moderate income, or just from whomever?
Oh, no, I'm assuming.
That's what I need to find out.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer right
They're
now.
not market rate. There's
Oh,
really not.
yeah,
I don't think
they-
so.
but I need-
Yeah, no, there's no way they're market rate.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
And I don't know if there's
Yeah,
a
We
percentage.
don't know what AMI they're at, but.
Yeah. I'm not certain if they're all affordable. Just like with Berry Farms, all of them aren't affordable. I was told 70% are
I think
affordable, so.
these are.
So, and it may be, I'm sorry, Commissioner, I'm just saying, I don't know, I don't want to say I know.
We don't want to bill it on the pretense that we're doing it for affordable housing. And then others come along who don't fit that criteria and get it, then we're just beating the dead horse.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions on resolution 23-53? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 23-53. That's to authorize MOU between DCHA and DEMTEC.
So move.
Commissioner Dickerson, move.
Second.
Commissioner Jones, second. Roll call vote.
Sure. Commissioner Dickerson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ronnie Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Teresa Silla,
Yes.
Commissioner Chris Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Katrina Jones,
Approved.
Commissioner Melissa Lee,
Yes.
Chairman Skinner.
Yes.
Yes, 7 yeses, the resolution is approved.
Okay, Commissioner Murphy, I think you have another resolution.
We do. Resolution 2354. You will recall that in the past, we've been asked to approve various entities for new market tax credits, and we have that funding available to us by an application that has to go to the Treasury and get approved. And so we have currently given out all the tax credits that we have been authorized to give out. So it is time for us to apply to the Department of Treasury for a new pot of tax credits that we can compete again within the district and make grants to important causes. So what we're being asked today to do is to authorize the executive director and his team to submit that application to the Department of the Treasury. And I believe the latest amount that we are being asked to authorize is 50 million. No, that's right.
It was 62.
62, thank you. So 62 million is, and then we will then eagerly await the Department of the Treasury's decision about whether to authorize this. You folks may recall that the last proposal we submitted, we didn't get approval for. So, but now that we feel like we're in a pretty good competitive position, stronger now than we were before. So we'll ask for your support for that authorization.
And the application includes certain proposed I guess, projects that are being considered for.
Yes, but at this point, I don't believe we're being asked to approve specific projects.
No, but the application asks that you submit potential.
Potential, yes,
projects
exactly,
that
exactly.
Are at least on the radar.
Exactly.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 2354 to authorize submission of new market tax credit application.
Motion to approve.
That was
Ronnie
Ms.
Harris.
Harris, Commissioner Harris. Second,
Second.
Commissioner Jones. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Sure. Commissioner Chris Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Melissa Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Ronnie Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Teresa Silla,
Yes.
Commissioner Katrina Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Jim Dickerson,
Yes.
Chairman Skinner.
Yes.
You have 7 yeses, the resolution is approved.
Thank you. So, Commissioner Blackson, are you there? Yes. Commissioner Blackson's gone. Okay, so she chairs our Resident Services Committee. So we won't have a report from Resident Services. Okay, so next on the agenda is testimony from non-residents, and we have a number of non-residents who signed up to testify. So I'm going to start with Michael Cornegay. Mr. Cornegay, are you there?
Sorry, hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought I hit the mute already. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna put my own timer on and get straight to it. So my name is Mike Cornegay. I'm a DC real estate broker and DC Housing Authority landlord for over 2 decades. My real estate brokerage, we focus on leasing to tenants with subsidies. And I'm also created something called a push score. Push stands for pre-approved underwriting standard for subsidized housing recipients. Used to be the VP of the Housing Providers Association for 6 years. This was a while ago. And I'm the founder of the DC Landlord Unity Group in 2010. So I'm just starting a little bit of backstory before I go into my reason for calling. I mean, not calling, but dialing in. I started the DC Landlord Unity Group because of an issue I had with inspections in 2010. There was an inspector, I was asking for a piece of confirmation that the unit passed inspection. He wouldn't get it. He said, let me go and put it in the system. I knew that he and I sort of didn't have the best exchange of words, but that has nothing to do with the output. And what happened is that the guy told me that it passed, and then he went in the system and put that it failed, and it hurt a client of mine who was an older woman, and that was a house that I had, she went into abatement. I never spoke to her after that. So that was the thrust that made me get up and start the Landlord Unity Group. Back then in 2010, I felt like the inspections didn't have the quality control it needed. And I just felt like a simple thing like giving me the proof that the inspection passed wasn't a big deal. Fast forward to today, the reason why I reached out is I feel like the problem is not as bad as it was, but there's still a few things that need to take place. A lot of it is process. Let me just go here because I want to just hit these things really quickly and then get out of here. So here's my reason and my talking points. The first is that each inspector comes out with a different process. One says you need to be there when I get there. One will call you and plan it with you. One will say, I just need to give you 30 minutes. Everyone does something different. There's no quality control. You escalate to the managers. I don't know if there's no quality control or they don't have solutions, or I don't know what it is, but I'm not able to get anything. Then the next thing is, well, not I don't know if there's no solutions too. I had a conversation specific with an inspection supervisor, and I've been sending emails every single inspection, and we do about 10, 15 of these deals a year. I've been doing it for years. A month, and been doing it for years. And he finally told me after sending escalation emails every single inspection that it was something that needed to happen with the leasing division. So I'm like, I've been sending emails and getting on everybody's nerves and escalating to find out after about 3 hours worth of writing emails that I had to go to the leasing. I went to the leasing person and they told me how, and I'm sort of getting off and trying to make my time. But long story short, the most recent thing that made me say I wanted to come to this meeting is that it was a woman named Sandra Roy, and she had her son. We've been waiting for like 3 or 4 months. I called her to get the story on what's going on. Was her son still interested? And she was an older woman who said she has Alzheimer's. She's been spending all of her money. Her son is going through extreme health issues in and out of the hospital, and she was crying on the phone to me. And it triggered me. It made me think of what happened with Emma Walter in 2010. And then I said, I need to come and try to do something about it. So it's 3 minutes and a half. I didn't really have time to get deep into it, but what I would like to do is have to package the things that I'm saying, because I would set it up and present it to somebody like an attorney. And I want somebody to read through what I'm going to present and make it better. You know, that's all I want. To speak is one thing, but I need somebody to take this package, the way I'm going to document it, these exhibits, and then talk to the leadership and make it stop. I'm finished.
Okay, thank you.
Who could I send that to that could do that?
So, you have an email address? I'll have staff reach out to you. You have an email address, Mr. Cornegay?
We have his email
have-
address.
okay.
Yep, right.
So you'll be getting probably a correspondence from, Ms. Hammer Gabrazi.
Okay.
I'll have her reach out to you, and you can send it back to her.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay, next on our list is Tamrit DeBulky. Tamrit DeBulky. Okay, moving on. Craig London.
Yes, hi, Chairman Skinner. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. London, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay, for starters, I would like to encourage Executive Director Pettigrew to restart the owner working groups that we had going last year. It was really to discuss operational issues with DCHA leadership on a pretty regular basis, preferably monthly. Things like inspections, lease ups, recertification, just to get more of a 360-degree understanding of some of the issues that are happening on the ground to affect operational changes. The second thing I'd like to mention are some DCHA employees that have been particularly helpful at solving problems recently. Deirdre McLeod, Trina Curitin, Mary Johnson, Ebony Thomas, Lahoma Dorsey, Layla Valencia, Fatima Karoma, Tereda Thomas, Kirk Batson, Devon Queen, and as always, Ms. Cabreas and Ms. Pompey. I also would like to make a special note of thanks to Janice Savasco, who's no longer with DCHA, but I just wanted to just mention that she was very helpful and a great asset when she was with DCHA. And I appreciate the time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. London. Okay, next is Patrice Evans. Patrice Evans. Okay, then we'll move on to Daniel Del Palago.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Del Pielago, and just as we close out the year, I wanted to flag a couple of things. I'm heartened that we are moving in a better direction. I understand it'll take time, but I do want to bring up a point that I don't think was discussed, but and to also underscore something that's needed. One thing that I will encourage the new director to look into again was the work that was being done around a right of return document. There was a group that was convened under the last director that just kind of just ended without much resolution with anything. So I would encourage that we look at that again, especially as the redevelopments continue to happen. And as such, and we've had this discussion with Director Pettigrew, but I do want to encourage that this work gets done, is that residents need a better understanding of what is happening right now with all of these redevelopments that are in the pipeline. They, I was thankful that Thor Nelson provided a fairly good timeline of how the development process works at the recent Councilmember Robert White's roundtable, but I think that needs to be broken down so residents can digest that, right? Like what is happening? What needs to happen with zoning? What needs to happen with financing? What does this mean for you and when you'll leave and you'll return? Because right now, you know, without anything like that, residents just fear the worst. And that does not help in reestablishing a better relationship between the agency and the residents. So encourage that in the coming year. I know folks at Berry Farm want to know, folks at Park Morton want to know, the Melvo folks want to know, you know, Kenilworth, and you name it, want to know what's really happening and what they can expect. We want to know what's going to happen with the Cappers properties, with more detail and more honesty than what's been provided this year. So I thank you in advance and look forward to working together in the coming year.
Thank you. Next is Nathaniel Simmons. Nathaniel Simmons. Okay, so that's the end of the public testimony, we believe. And next on our agenda is what we refer to as commissioners' time. And this is an opportunity for commissioners to raise any issues that they may have, issues of concern to them. And we can spend a little time talking about it this afternoon.
I have a concern.
Commissioner Burbridge.
I would. First, I would like to get some clarity for the public and make this public record that the 3-minute rule, so that they can understand when you get 3 minutes now, you can, I don't think you can do both, like do resolution, you have to combine it out. So if you could give clarity on that, so that the public will know. The second thing is, I heard someone say about the president. I'm under the assumption that once you leave a property, whether it's being temporary, relocated, you know, like with the Melville, let's say I leave, I am no longer considered a resident council president, because I do not want people to think that we are disregarding them, we're not including them. But if you lived on a property and you are relocated to another property, then you no longer hold that seat as a resident council president. So if I could get clarity on that, so I would move forward and would know. And I think some of the residents would like to know, especially Ms. Hyde, when she made her statement. I need clarity, please. That's it.
We'll get it. But it's my understanding that what your interpretation of is the interpretation, but let me follow up just to make sure that we're not missing anything.
So with regard to the first issue you raised, you know, several months ago, because we had so many people wanting to provide testimony, both residents and non-residents, we went to the 3-minute rule instead of 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes is really a long time. So, and in those 3 minutes, the testifier can talk about whatever they want. They can talk about the resolutions. They can talk about any other issues that's on their mind. So that was what we went to. 3 minutes total. Because again, the other issue that we were having with people were getting 2 or 3 bites at the apple. They wanted to testify on one resolution, another resolution, and then provide some other testimony. And that was just taking up too much time. So what we're doing now is everyone gets 3 minutes to talk about whatever they want to talk about, resolutions or any other issues.
Thank you. I knew it, but I just wanted clarity, make it public record, and also under the new legislation, it does says that we have the right to adjust the time, which is exactly what was done. Thank you so much. That's it.
Commissioner Sullivan.
Right, so I wanted to call out like a couple of things from, so this resident feedback session sounds and feels very different than the resident feedback that we've been receiving for the last year. And so I like, no, I mean, you know.
There she goes again. Soften me up for the final blow.
But I'm trying to tell you, like, when I compliment, it's like for real, like, it feels to me that there is something different about the feedback that we're getting, the ways in which people are participating. It sounds to me like people feel heard. And so I know, earlier, Commissioner Dickerson and I were talking about what a pleasure it is to serve on a board, what a pleasure it is to have the conversations that we're having. And what a pleasure it is to hear that the residents are impacted in a different way, and are coming with a different spirit and energy to this conversation. So I wanted to, like, first and foremost, like, acknowledge and call that out. Secondly, I didn't have a chance to connect the dots between something that Mr. Jordan said relative to the new market credits, which I actually think are really important. Some of the projects that are listed there personally, like, to me, when I think about scholarship opportunities with Howard University, with UDC, and that's one of the opportunities that was there. That to me is a real tie with employment opportunities, especially for young adults that are pursuing schooling and are residents of the Housing Authority. So I do not believe that there is no connection between what is being proposed. And I want to, like, make sure we publicly, like, recognize and acknowledge that the projects that are being proposed are of benefit, yes, to district residents, but also they can and should be, and we should be working to connect those to our Housing Authority residents as well.
If I may, and Chairman Skinner could talk this too. Excuse me. One of the things I talked to the team about was when we do these projects, that we do them in a way that our residents can benefit from it.
Yep.
And because when I looked at where they were doing them, my thing was, okay, listen, we have a pipeline right now. We have things going on. We can't find those tracks closer to where we're developing so that our residents can take advantage of it, whether it be a medic clinic or something like that, or whatever it's going to be.
Grocery store and
Exactly.
security. Yep.
So I shared that with the team the other
Okay.
day, literally, and also with the Howard University Scholarship. We talked about the fact that
Yesterday.
my first question was, who's on the committee to determine who gets these scholarships, number one? And number two, DC residents who attend Howard University should be first in line, just so you know. So we're right in line with you.
Okay, that's really wonderful to hear. And I wanted to make sure I didn't have a chance to, like, think about that connection and to make sure it was in the public record that, we're not negligent of that, the importance of that connection, Mr. William. Mr. Jordan, I wanted to state that out loud. Last one, and I'm so sorry for being long-winded, rent and reasonableness. I have an email in my inbox that I will be sharing with you and with the team, with Hamara Gabreyes. And I also went easy on this meeting because I understand that, like, I really appreciated, like, in your 5 weeks that you need to assess what's happening across the entire, operations of the Housing Authority. But rent and reasonableness from, an interagency council on homelessness perspective has brought lease up to just about a standstill since it was implemented in July. That's my perspective based on data that I'm looking at that might not take into account the data that you have available at the Housing Authority. But I wanted to publicly state right now, the way rent and reasonableness is working for our community is that it is not working. So we need to look at the data on that. We need to look at the process that you have gotten feedback around and the adjustments you are planning on making, and it needs to be data-driven. We need to see what is happening with the unit.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just make sure I'm understanding? Is the
Okay.
issue, the specific issue that people are applying for adjustments and then they're just waiting to have
So there,
determination made?
there are a number of issues, and this is why I think data is important. The latest feedback that I've gotten that I will share with you, it just hit my inbox, is that rent reasonableness is changing real time. And that means even after the packet has been submitted and approved, before lease up, like in the time that it takes, which is sometimes not even all that long. We're not talking about like this is, I can understand if it's like a 3-month process and you have to re-up on rent reasonableness. But that's not what I am getting from the feedback that I'm receiving. And so I wanted to make sure that is at least one part of this, and there are probably lots of other parts to this, but I just like.
Send me that email.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
And I also want to go on record as saying,
That's
like,
interesting.
we
That is
we
taking up
need,
time, but
we
take a
need to understand rent reasonableness. We need to understand the data behind it, the impact that it's having on our lease-up process. And if there are things that we can do to unwind some of what's stuck, we need your support with it.
So, I mean, that,
Yeah, go ahead.
Commissioner, so I just want to say, so, you know, I agree with you to some extent. So when they started this process, part of the idea behind this was that we were going to get real-time data because rents change all the time. So if it's changing, you know, like daily, you know, by the time somebody submits an application and they get approved, then, you know, a week later, there's a different there could be a different outcome.
Right, and I think, you know, with everything in life, right, there is a degree of like certainty and uncertainty that we have to manage in the policies and processes that we're adopting. So you know, like, I think we need a practical, middle of the road solution on some of these issues. It cannot be that, like, I literally, my lease up packet is approved, I'm ready to execute papers a week later, and I'm no longer reasonable, you know,
Good
like.
afternoon.
Yeah.
This is Camarega Reyes. I definitely do look forward to receiving your email because we can look into those details. I know one of the issues that we've heard more is also that the trying to know whether or not something is rent reasonable before they submit the packet, or, you know, so I think there are definitely points in the process where some visibility or some other information that can help minimize the number of applications that they have to submit or the time that it takes. But we definitely look forward to working with you. And I know we've participated in the meetings with the ICH and hearing directly from stakeholders, but yes, we'll definitely be in touch.
Hammer, can I also ask, just because that is one key issue, and we kind of, it's the law of unintended consequences. We always knew this was going to happen, although it was like, we knew it was going to happen. But the other issue that I think we've previously received data on is in the table we saw that it would be sort of, you know, this many applied, this many have been just for rent increases, this many have been decided. And then there was like this huge percentage of like pending determination or something. Do you have a sense that the pace has picked up in terms of deciding those cases? Because if all we're doing is sending hundreds and hundreds of people into a brick wall that they can't get through, that's another problem we got to deal with.
No, absolutely. And we did anticipate there'd be a high, especially on the rent increase request, that there would be a high level of demand, and that we would be able to kind of calibrate. But we are looking at pulling that data together so we can share more information with you, and then we can use that to make some decisions or decide on what areas need further attention.
That would be great, because it's a little, I think to the layperson, and maybe I would count myself in that category on this issue, it's a little bit hard to understand why we have this like magical database. So shouldn't somebody just be able to sit through and punch in data and get through, you know, 100 units a day or something like that? It just didn't make sense intuitively without understanding the details why that delay occurred, why the backlog is developing. So I look forward to hearing more.
Okay, any other comments from commissioners? Okay, if hearing none, the next meeting, will not have a meeting in January of 2024. The next meeting will be held on Wednesday, February the 14th.
Miss Bishop again, like you promised us the Christmas Eve.
The next meeting is February 14th, 2024, at 1 p.m. via WebEx video conferencing. So with that, in closing, the STAR Board and the staff here at DCHA wishes everyone a safe and happy holiday season. So thank you, and to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. The meeting is adjourned at 3:08 p.m.